Yeah, because for example, like if you play that Star Blast draw, next thing you know, you might not be able to activate Absolute Ice Shield from hand, right? And that would suck. That's why for a lot of red decks, I also was against Star Blast draw because I'm a strong believer of flash timing. Flash time kind of makes or breaks battles.
Same,
right? So I was against Star. I would rather use Charge Draw because it gives me +2 and I would draw 2 cards. And it just nets me 1. But then, and also, I was kind of 50-50. Okay, I see why Mechanical is helpful because it gives me +1 to it unbiasedly towards the board, 1. And then 2, it draws me quicker. But then it's like, I don't like discarding cards in my hand if my entire hand is good. But after play testing, especially in this meta, that draw 4 is ridiculous. For the cost of 2 in red, I just drew 4 cards. That is nutty. But I usually win games off of that. But it's just like, plus all this, I just go to town. Volcanic Canyon, especially now with Apollo Dinos, Volcanic Canyon just gets rid of constant cards off the board with Apollo Dinos. And it helps me draw into the answers quicker so that I can immediately address problems, especially a destructive red. The faster I can get to my destructive card and put you further behind, the quicker I'm going to win this game. But there is a moment where I'm going to run out of steam, clearly. So I think there are cards like, for example, you kind of just have to determine like what your play style is. I've seen Volcanic Canyon in red-green. That's I know the deck that topped also. I've seen it in like white, where I've seen like an aggro white. Yeah. I've seen it in some other decks like that come out constantly, like Volcanic Canyon.
That's also because they also have target things that can keep coming back and reoccurring. Battlecore,
that is true with the green.
Tokiwa can just keep ditching the Tokiwa.
Yeah, that is true.
Control their hand properly.
It's true. We definitely don't need it in purple because we've got Core Theft. That's just our discarding method. We just discard.
Not only that, you guys have weird ass, nutty draw power.
Oh yeah, we have insane draw power. We don't
like even with the hit on dead.
You want to draw 3? I could do that already.
Even with the hit on Net of the World Debts, that didn't stop your draw power. You have something that on
Purple found a way. Purple found a way.
It's because the only thing that stopped they have draw
was people not being aggressive. The depths basically allowed people to not attack it. In a sense. Now it allows people to be aggressive because it's gone. But if it ever comes back, it's just going to turn into the same.
I feel like depths helped in both directions because it's like you guys can be aggressive as you want to, knowing that your abilities high chance kill the opponent. We either have to say, dang, I either lose life or I lose my creature and they draw a card. I have to choose one or two evils. But now it was also kind of like, dang, after you just did that to me, I have to equal the playing field by getting aggressive. If I get aggressive, you get a draw from me being aggressive.
And that one draw could be life or death.
Right. But then it's like you guys will also had other ways of plussing your advantage. So it's like your destructive capabilities continued evenly after like turn 3. And we were just kind of like, dang, he just killed this out of me. Both my turn and his turn, and he's drawing his stuff back. What I'm gonna do? Well, shoot, I got a depth myself. I guess I'll just wait it out.
Like the only card that makes him neg is literally Core Theft. That's the only card.
The only way for purple, and the reason why a lot of people I'm assuming a lot of people have incorporated depths inside their build, is because the only way to fight depths in purple is to have one yourself.
Yeah,
because then
or if you fight against red, you just blow the fuck up.
I ready for us, blow it up.
Actually, blow it up. While we're on that topic, since most of us, have experience in, certain colors, Tom, what would be your tips to? I'm going to say, because everyone's going to be either building decks or thinking about processes, from this video. What would be your mindset to give them against fighting purple?
Against fighting purple? Purple has a very a good variety of playing. So they can go aggro, they can go stally, they can go into like controlling, just getting rid of your board whenever you play it. Best way to fight purple is to see what their style is at that point in time. If you see them drop a bunch of spirits, you either have to drop some of your own spirits, not waiting for setup, or you have to get them off the board immediately.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to white, I'm going to say this because it is a very big disclaimer. Most of the other decks have somewhat of a similar start when it comes to how they play. When it comes to white, there's a huge gap, and then there's kind of like their own little subsection. When it comes to fighting white, you don't know until what happens on the very first turn. You will know what type of white you're fighting. If you see a rookie come down, or that's what I like to call the lower tier people, you're fighting rush. If you see anything else, prepare for big white. Okay? Prepare for big white.
If you see a Newman City, just
So
expect it.
let's move the rookies to the side just for white. So regardless of what type of white archetype you're fighting, whether it's white control, white mid-range, they all typically have the same starting flow. But I would like to say be careful of this. If any white player puts down a Newman City within a first turn or two, if you touch them, expect a Newman card. If you touch them, expect the Aegis. Something that says I'm big and involve white and Newman Cities there or Elk, expect that to come out.
The very next
Because turn 1, 4. Let's say I'm going first. That's 4. Turn passes back to you. If you touch me, 5. I get a core from my upstart. 6. I pay 5. Newman guard.
Just build out your board. If you see a Newman Guard City, build out your board. Don't swing.
Or blow it up.
Yep. My strategy.
If you can.
Yeah. My strategy to anyone who's fighting against white. If you're an aggressive player, this is my only tip. Passive and players that have to set up their foundation, not really going towards you because this is part of your game plan anyway. But mostly to your aggressive players, play slower. Your first turn or two is very important. Create your foundation first. Get a Nexus, get 2 Spirits, or get 2 Spirits, or get 2 Nexus and a Spirit. Create your foundation first. Once you come out the gates, you will be a little bit more safer. Their bodies are huger. You just slow them down from putting something out like Numengar for like a turn or so. But that also allows you to escape things such as Avalanche and Dream Bomb. If it's a set card, this is high chance it's a Dream Bomb. Like if you hit me and the Dream Bomb activates, I'm taking a Spirit and a Nexus. That's why I say create a foundation first. 3 separate entities, just in case things get targeted. That way you're able to continue your game plan. Aggressive plays will put you in a deficit. Now, if you're red or white aggro, ignore what I just said. Come out the gates. I'm waiting for you.
Yo, I'm about to say, like, because I think
That tiger's a menace.
Yeah, that tiger.
Same thing.
was-
If you're red or white against purple, it's cool that you want to be aggro, but you leave him 1 core and everything. He's just asking to get Curse Dragon.
Yeah,
You're begging for me to Curse Dragon you.
What I will say as a red player going into both of these matches up, you definitely have to figure out, like, if you're going against purple, I think, at least for me, and I could be wrong, I'd rather play slower on purple than I would white. Because the reason why I say that, and what I mean by slower is, I guess it depends on what you mean by fast too. If you mean by fast is in attacking, I'm probably not attacking if I see Newman City.
That.
Yeah, I'm probably not
So
attacking.
yeah. So what I mean by no, I didn't say
least
fast.
for one
I just said play slower.
Mm.
What I mean by playing slower is if you got 3 cards you can put down, don't swing them all in. Even playing 1 card and smacking me in the face, like I said, you are allowing the Newman guard.
Yeah.
But if you have aggressive plays that's not giving me advantage, but you're taking it from me, go all butt wild off of turn 1. Feral Slash. Burning Force. I'm not saying you can because we're in the first couple of turns. Andromeda. Play things that's going to give you the advantage by taking it away from the white player.
Yeah.
Our strengths is our foundation. Because we don't have heavy draw like red or purple. We don't have heavy draw. Our strength comes from our foundation. It comes from that solidification of units and or nexuses on the board.
Yeah, it's definitely for sure. Like if you get rid of and I guess I would say this as a red destructive player, your job is to take things away. And there's nothing in any card game. There's nothing more powerful than playing a card that sticks on the board that also allows you to take something away from your opponent. That's why things like Andromeda is still in the meta. Because for the cost of 6 and I guess reduced cost of 3, you take something away from your opponent that costs probably 4, or if it was back in Netherworld Depths, saw 6. So for the cost of 3, you get something that usually costs more off the board, and then he stays on the board. And if they don't swing in, you can now confront it.
See, that's why I like Battlecore, because I play them down, I blow up your Restless Spirit that decided to be aggressive, especially since it blows up 4 or lesses, which means it's slightly higher.
There's nothing more like any card game.
And if you kill him, he can potentially come back later.
Yeah,
right.
There's like in any card game, cards that take something away from your opponent that sticks on your board are so important. That's why things like Harriers like coming out the roadworks, but it's like he sticks on the board, he's bouncing back away, right? And he gets to dictate what battle goes in. But I guess to not go too far off, and we'll talk about that a little later. I guess my turn as a red player, how to play against it. First, I will say how to really play against it. If they go wide, Burning Forest, Flood Streams are your best friend. But I will also say this: it kind of goes back on what Tom said. It kind of depends on what style of red they're playing, because I will say I'm not seeing too many, I guess, attack aggro red. It's more like destruction red right now, right? And with destruction red, the way to kind of fight them off is just to play with your level thresholds. You'd be surprised what leveling down your units could do for you. Because a lot of the biggest mistakes people do when they fight into destruction red is actually they level them up into a threshold I can kill them and keep them in the threshold where I want to do. For example, I put down Apollo Dinos. You're gonna look at this dude and be like, well, I don't want to be a 5 or 7, right? Okay, I'm gonna purposely leave him there. Then if you're 4 or less, Ritual Fire. If you're 5 or 7, Death. Right? So you have to make sure to play within those BP thresholds. And usually the safe BP threshold is actually 10, if not 11. Right? 10, because 10 is also questionable if they run Nova. But if they don't run Nova, you don't have to address that. Right? So now, remember, a lot of opponents only get to around 9. If they get to 10, you could be in a questionable situation. If they get that consistently, they're in a questionable situation.
Yeah.
But 11 is like that nice, 11 above is that nice, comfortable number. But it's like, well,
if you can touch 12, chef kiss.
yeah, if you can touch 12, they're probably not touching you.
Not touching.
They're not touching you. They have to basically beat you in battle. So you want to kind of play those BP thresholds. I've seen people that literally, like for example, green players, they'll play Highlands. They will then play Huntsman, put him at level 2. I look at them, I'm like, he knows I have an Apollo Dinos, right? So he's going to immediately just die. The best thing for them to do in this situation is to just level the Hunter down. Because yes, you'd be like, oh, well, you can blow him up with maybe Trident or Ritual Fire. That's still a card I have to play out of my time. When honestly, if you level them up, I don't have to play anything now. I just type with Apollo.
Just attack and then you can save it for the next turn.
Save for the next turn. Like
Yeah.
that's something I don't have to worry about. So I think first see what style it is. And I will say this, you probably don't have to worry about aggro red too much right now because of the fact that unlike aggro white, they don't have a very strong way of confirming games early. They usually have to wait 2 turns to kill you. Even if they go wide at 4, they don't have any real way of confirming it after that. They can't even play what was the card called? Double Heart at that moment because it would cost their entire board. Only a reduction of 3. It would cost their entire board to do that. So they'd have to wait a turn. Unlike aggro white, where that same turn they played you, they could kill you that very same turn with regain. So if you do see aggro, you probably have a turn just to breathe, and then you start maybe setting up or play a strat. Think of a strategy really quickly to help live. And if you don't got it, you don't got it, right? It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, but things like Floodstream, Burning Force, usually against aggro red, are really potent. And I will say this though, another thing you want to see with red, if you see Emperor Beast or Pterosaur, be quick to assume that maybe the Gano's around the corner. Because the very next turn, if I've done it, I'll gladly do it. Pay 2, I got a core back, 2 cores, pay 2 to kill this guy, the Gano. I still have 4 units and then now a giant 10k body on the board.
That's boosting the entire
swing. I will gladly do it. It doesn't matter to me because
while we're on that, sorry to take it from you.
Oh yeah, you're
Don't
good.
get it.
Sorry, man.
Always.
But this goes along with one of the tips, which just clicked in my head. Understand the value of resources, and also understand the value of resource gainage. There's a difference between resource gainage and the resource that's currently on the board. Separate. Resource gainage is how much you can profit or what you can gain from something. Such as, for an example, I'm just putting this back on the table, Netherworld Depths. That resource gainage is continuously there. It is a resource, but that resource gainage is that draw that you're getting from it. Let's look at Worker Ant-Man. It is also a resource that's currently on the board, but that resource gainage comes from him attacking. But let's look at something that's not a physical entity. Let's look at Strong Draw. You activate Strong Draw, it's gaining you resources. You pay that 3, That it's not a physical entity that's on the board. It's not a cost reduction or anything. You're paying and you're gaining those 3 cards. Now, granted, you will have to ditch 2, but those of you understand the value of that card. You're getting rid of cards that you probably don't need, that's probably not fitting for the situation, has 0 value, and you're gaining cards that are of value, or you're trying to look for it anyway. But moving from there is understand that if you're in a position where you need to think about, wow, dang, I'm building my deck, but it's not working. Spread your deck around and then start thinking about this. Does my deck have resource gainage? Does anything in here at any point in the game allow me to gain resources? If not, what do I have in here that allows me to take away from resources? Red. And if not that, let's look at white. If I can't gain resources or take resources, does my deck have the ability to have longevity? Those resources staying on the board is you gaining that longevity of resources for later in the game. It's that constant cost reduction on the board because your units have armor or have huge bodies that people can't get over, so they can't remove it as easy.
So would you say that basically everyone should maybe consider having a little bit of utility in their deck?
That right there is definitely a thing. That goes back to what I was saying before about those 3 cards. When it comes to Worker Ant-Man, Dragon Naga, and Hippocampo, I consider those as utility based on what color they're in. If they're not in, if Dragon Naga's not in purple, it's a utility for everyone else. It's not inside its natural habitat anymore. It's in someone else's. And what I mean by based on the color, I'm a color that does not draw that often. So it being in my deck, it becomes a utility. It's not in my natural color, and it's gaining me something that I would not naturally earn. Let's look at, I'm gonna just pick on you for an example. Let's look at it as a red player. He's aggressive, but of course his cards cost. He doesn't gain cores as much. And to fully utilize his cards, he would have to meet their level requirements, which costs a lot of cores. But in order to fulfill him, he'll have to sacrifice them. So what he'll do is he'll drag over Worker Ant-Man, not in his natural color, but it's boosting his core efficiency. So that means he doesn't have to get hit as often from his life. That becomes a utility card from him.
I was going to say, anything to come out of that? Mr. Yellow?
Oh no! Last but not least is Yellow. I guess while playing
blow
against
up their
it,
board. Just blow up.
He's right. He's right. Because here's the
That's funny.
Here's the one thing. Like
if they drop down a Nexus, kill it.
Kill it.
They drop down spirits.
You sound like a red player, my guy. You want to come this way?
Destroy everything.
We got a lot of that over here.
Love.
I ain't gonna lie. I know when my stuff sticks, I become a problem. But when they stuff sticks, they literally become gods. They just sit there and just be like,
if we stick, we get
exhaust nexus. Exhaust nexus. You can't do nothing. Well, all this is free and minus 15.
Oh my god! If we get a nexus on the board, we just draw like no.
Tap 3. By playing 1 spirit, drawing 3 more cards. Let me just keep going through my deck until I got like 10 cards.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like a victim session. It's like here goes the guy that actually plays the color. Here goes everyone that's like the victims. It's like, bro, I swear to you, it's not as bad as it seems. Wakanda is, but like, he's gonna
70+% was at the Pro Tour.
Yeah,
or whatever.
The Pro Tour.
Come on now, come on now.
And here's
just saying.
He's right about that. We play down a Nexus, kill it. We play down a unit, kill it. Or just put out a big body to block that bless unit we can no longer bless.
Don't be afraid of them blessing sometimes.
Yeah, don't be afraid of them blessing, because we're giving you resources to elongate our life.
With purple, like, we've got Beldor, so if they rest their 3 or 4 bless unit, just blow it up.
Crocodile.
Because here's the thing. The other tip I would give is don't be afraid of the battle phase. Kill things when they swing, or bounce things when they swing. Our main threats are basically Michaela. You bounce it back, I don't get my free spells. You kill it, I don't get my free spells. Sure, I get a core and a draw, I don't get my free spells. Gembu, bounce it back to the hand. Sure, they get that one unblockable swing, but they don't have the restand. Each one of our battle phases in purple has that one key spirit or that one key nexus that you can just, in the battle phase, get rid of it, and it ends our turn. We're not willing to swing because our bodies are low. And if we don't have max reduction, we're not getting anywhere.
I will. You mind if I chime in?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I'm nowhere near as good as Yellow As he is. All right, I just want y'all to know that. So I played this draw yesterday, right? So I'm like I said, I like playing multiple colors. I feel like it flexes the brain, it flexes your play style. So I had the luxury of playing Genbu yesterday, and definitely for sure, I do agree with you. If they don't have an established board state, it definitely slows them down. But what I did notice, there was a moment in the game where it's like it didn't really matter anymore. If I could this goes back to what Corey said about statement plays. If I could hard play a Genbu, I found out just yesterday. I didn't know this. His unblockability is level 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
I didn't know that. And I was like, that's annoying.
But that's that one key card. If that card leaves the field for any reason, that next turn hurts us because now we have to pay that same hefty cost.
Especially if you don't have Phantasmal Paradise do it. Because like if you keep bouncing it, I can see why it's detrimental to both the person that bounced it and you. Because like, yeah, you bounced my Genbu, but if you place it back down, I just drew another card again. Yeah. Right? And I just keep doing it, I just keep doing it, I just keep doing it. And it's like it's a constant unblockable. It's like replaying a statement play every turn. Yeah. And if your opponent doesn't have an answer to address your life, even returning it, it doesn't help. So I think if you could, I agree with everyone here. If you could kill them, kill it. Kill it. Kill it. And also, God, I do agree. Don't be afraid to block or I guess battle them, because yes, they have God Slaying, which if for those who don't know, God Slaying is an ability, is a spell that calls for 3 reduction that says we compare costs now, and the person with the lower cost wins. So usually, with yellow, they swing with the little guy that's not unblockable and says, hey, and you block him. Yes, if I activate God Slaying, yes, your unit will die, but there's only 4 in the deck. So unless if they run classes at max. Right? And I have to draw into it, right? Which granted you'd be like, oh, well, Genbu draws a lot. Well, maybe you have to deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. So
they're probably not playing for constantly.
Yeah. So
like the 2-drop Behemoth deck, maybe they play 4.
Yeah, maybe. I personally play 3, and I can see why you only want to play 2, because it's like, well, it dies, Genbu's on the board, restand this other unblockable, which is fair. So you don't have to worry about battling every unblocking.
But picture it. Yeah. Once you swing with that first unit, Genbu just got bounced.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, along with that,
Genbu just got cooked. Because Genbu is only a 10 at max.
Yeah. Player that was in Atlanta. Thank you. Do not be afraid to put those vanillas in your deck or side deck.
Oh, yeah.
Versus a Genbu. Now, we all know that, of course, Luster is a deck, but, it's kind of mixed in with the Genbu. If there is a deck that you have difficulties with, do not, and I repeat, do not be afraid to put something that you do not like within your deck and or side deck to help you survive. This is called counterplaying, or putting things in there to help you play efficiently. I know we all have problems with, man, why I gotta put certain stuff in my deck and side deck in order to fight back and get something.
Okay.
If you're, no offense, I mean none at all. You're a local player, you're trying to have fun, I understand it sucks. You're a competitive player, you understand you gotta do what you gotta do.
You're playing for money, fam.
So that's the difference between winning and losing.
Put those friendly, non-effect text cards in your deck or in your side deck
for Genbu,
and get ready to put them out there. And hint on hint, please find a vanilla that is higher than 5.
We will kill you.
People are underestimating Floodstream, but for a Genbu player, Floodstream is their best friend. Yes. Okay, it helps getting rid of problem kids. Yes. So put a vanilla in there that has a decent, threshold. Now, granted, they have 2 Genbus on the board. I don't know what to tell you, but at least that one vanilla will help you stage off one until the other gets there, until you are able to execute your plans.
Or just hold this out.
But along with that, we will also let you know that there are certain card texts that you can put in your deck versus each color. Of course, there are a bunch of them, but I'm only going to give you probably, in my thought, 1 per color. Now, the others may have their own, because we all are different players, different play styles, different deck builds and constructions.
Indeed.
So all of our decks are different. But for a white player, if you are fighting against red, your best friend side deck or main deck will be Enterprise. Yep. Yes, their destructive capabilities will hit your nexuses. But remember, our strength comes from our longevity. And our longevity is not limited to nexuses. It comes from our bodies. When our bodies are on the board, we do the one thing that red likes to do. We fight. That's why majority of our armors are from these guys. If they like to throw hands, so do we. But where our strengths come from, it comes from our bouncing capabilities. If we can't overpower you, we will send you back home. Okay? Now, when it comes to fighting a white versus white, now this is a two-parter. You can either play Enterprise or you can play the big brother of all white decks right now, Dual Gun. You do not have to fight whatsoever. You'll probably go like, well, they can still bounce. You only bouncing one unless you want to pay more. Based on X amount of nexuses that are currently on the board, X amount of white spirits become unblockable. Bouncing Durham Dyna is only delaying the inevitable because he comes back the very next turn based on what phase of the game is in. So if you want to be aggressive, Durham Dyna is your guy. White players eventually will die out because of the unblockable. We're not fighting creatures anymore, which white likes to do. It's having that physical interaction after a while. But if things are going over, it's nothing separating us now besides those cards in your hand and that Absolute Ice Shield. Once you run out, you're pretty much done. And Enterprise, of course, you can't bounce nothing. It's nothing but me and you at this point, big fella. Now, versus purple, it all will depend based on two things. What type of purple you are fighting and the time frame. And what I mean by time frame is based on if the deck has Marduk or not, you will be on a timer. Now, these two cards, but it's really just one because you can kind of flex the second one. One, the number one best friend will be Blizzard Eagle. He helps across the board. He helps him in the curse matchup, but also against things like Deadly Balance. So you will always have a constant body on the board. Remember, longevity is our strength. So having something constant on the board gives us power. The other one is a very, very flexed card, and it will be Enterprise. I know I said it for the other ones, and say it for this one. Why is he a flex card? Because there's strengths of core removal, especially whether it's Baculus or Curse Dragon, it will shut him off. And everyone is now exposed to everything that they can do.
Plus, him blocking a curse unit doesn't help.
And that was the other one. Him blocking a curse unit. The weakness to Enterprise is two things. One, his ability getting shut off due to a core removal. Second, pressure. Pressure forces Enterprise to deal combat at one point or another. Because eventually you will be forced to block. You will either have to give it to him because your life is low, or you'll be confronted, which is the strengths of red. When it comes to decks colors like yellow, put a big body out there.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Just put a big body out there. That's it.
We have to come up with a 3 to 4 card combo to get rid of
I don't even have to tell you if they have what's the name of that card called?
Flagem? Judgment Angel?
No, the one that says kill the one
Godslaying?
If they have Godslaying, send it away. Outside of besides Godslaying, big body. I'm pretty much done. Green. Sheriff Eagle. That's it.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Blue. See you in set 4.
Yeah, no. Blue.
See you in
It's a
set
white.
4.
I feel like it's a 50-50 toss-up. It's like whoever kind of stabilized first.
Yeah.
It's like a clock, right? But anyway, I will not be giving any more tips as Corey has given you this premium subscription to this tip channel.
Apparently.
Because like he's basically want to marry you guys. So we'll see you on the next episode.
What white cards to use?
Yeah, he really got into it.
He's like my fellow white players. I was like, dude, really got into all of them. But nah, yeah, no. Like, thank you again, go
Because
guys.
majority of the time, when you need to fight back against a certain color, at least in set 3, majority of them comes from white.
That is true. White has a lot of flex.
Let's look at the problems
Yeah.
of green. Majority of the cards that shut down green comes from white.
Yeah,
Red.
I mean, Sheriff Eagle.
Comes from white. Purple comes from white. Them, big body. It doesn't matter. Just
Dude, yeah, we don't. We don't.
It's just like this yellow is kind of the natural counter to white. It's been like that since BS.
just put a big body. It doesn't matter. You could grab any deck and just put a giant body in there and put it in front of them, and they're just gonna sit there like this. God slam? Nope. Turn pass. Because they don't want to lose anything.
Yeah.
Or they might just go to try to play strategically like, hey, Gembu, attack with this, restand that. It just depends on the situation, honestly.
It really does, and then
Yeah.
it all
Now-
depends on the card combination. If we have Fladrim and Exhaust Nexus and enough of them.
Now, of course, you could say, versus certain colors, you can do burning fours or something like that. But I'm just being that guy. I'm not sure. Like I said, you guys got your own colors that you're
Man,
proficient
is
in.
that guy?
I guess, even though I said majority of these cards are from white, it's just majority of the cards that people are using currently to fight back against the current meta come from white.
Because I think it has the most like responsive answers.
Yeah.
Like it's a responsive color by nature, so it has a lot of answers that says, "Hey, stop."
And it also because it bounces, it gets around a lot of the when destroyed effects. It gets around
Don't
of
get me started
things,
on that. Yeah.
Like everything in every color that's not white, it has a when destroyed effect that's very potent in this game. Such as Maduke, we just want to bounce back Maduke. In yellow,
Hit, you're kind of
Yeah,
on the back.
but that's why I say it's like
yellow, no matter what you
it
bounce back,
just delays the
it's the key
inevitable
spirit.
with Maduke. So that's why it's
But,
going to be on
yeah.
a timer with purple. You just eventually you gotta get aggressive with them. You gotta finish the game out, or bouncing only delays the inevitable.
But that's the best
With
answer
Maduke.
to close out the game. Like just bounce it back and try to close out the
Oh
game.
no, correction. There is one card that you can use in any scenario. We'll end it with that.
All right, what is it?
Double hard.
Thorn Prison.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh, that is true.
Thorn
That is
Prison
true.
will help you out regardless.
That is true. Thorn Prison. As I said, I think it's one of those cards that's straight up a staple. It's
Thorn
just
Prison.
Thorn Prison.
Unless there's Sheriff Eagles on the field.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
That sucks. If the opponent is running Sheriff Eagles against you,
Or anything with green armor green.
Well, at least nobody would die.
that's true. That's true.
So give me everybody else that get in my butt cheeks, but you, we can talk.
Wow, I don't even know what to say to that. Folks, thanks for coming again on this episode. I'll see you.
You want to fight a Newman guard?
I don't want to fight a Newman guard.
I'll fight a Newman guard.
Then sit him down and talk to the sheriff. Because that's all y'all
Go ahead,
doing.
fight me.
Like, dog, like,
You guys
I'm down
know.
for
You
this.
guys know in Battle Spirits when they
never
when,
win this episode.
I know, but check this out. You know in Battle Spirits when you go like, yo,
Say that.
freaking tiger attack. Tiger starts rushing out like this, and then attacks the spirit. They meet in the middle, start doing the little animation, and the ting, boom, it blows up. Well, not this. You go like tiger attack. Tiger comes out. Sheriff meets in the middle and just go. We ain't gonna fight because we're not gonna die.
What is a sheriff? I guess it's a joke. What is a sleepless ever going to meet a sheriff equal?
So my joke was actually going towards your tiger.
I want to say,
Yo!
but I'm going to say, like, what is?
But you got a point. But I was really going off of your Sengoku Tiger.
Sengoku will kill him too. He on attack, he blows something up equal to his BP or less.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So then,
Anyway.
where's the tiger going to ever meet a sheriff equal?
Regardless, anywho, they gonna be in the middle. They gonna be like, oh shoot, we can't kill each other.
You mean he's fried chicken?
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
We gonna let Isaac give the outro. Hey guys, how's it going? We're finally gonna end the episode.
Are we?
Okay. Has it been like 40 minutes? It's been long. Oh. Thank you for enjoying us. If you've made it to this part of the episode, please like, subscribe, and comment, and ring that bell notification. Thank you again, everybody, for coming to the Core Talk. As Barabbas like to say, let the cores decide your fate. And like Battlecore like to say, let the battles decide your champion. Thank you again. See us in the next episode of what are we branding this again? Tech Tuesdays? Tip Tuesdays? What are we doing this? We're gonna do it soon. Find it out. You'll see in the title. Deuces!
Later.